What's going on, folks? Welcome back to the Lawn Shark channel. So today we are going to do a little bit of weed control. As you guys recall, a couple weeks ago I introduced that granddad's or grandpa's weeder, and it's a manual weed puller, and I'm going to try and do a lot of that this year as opposed to using a bunch of herbicides. But unfortunately, because as you guys know, I didn't use any pre-emergent either in the fall or in the spring because of the fact that I did a lawn renovation in the fall and then I did overseeding in the spring. I didn't use anything like prodiamine or any other pre-emergent because that would have stunted the weed germination process. So I basically stayed away from it this year. So I have to do some sort of an herbicide just to mitigate some of the weeds that are probably going to be coming up. I will have to do something about crabgrass as a post-emergent, and I may be dealing with that later on in the season. But for now, we're going to take care of all the broadleaves because those are the big problems that I'm dealing with right now. And I can show you what that looks like here in a little bit. One of the things that I also mentioned in the video last time was that I asked you guys to share some of the products that you may be using, and I had a lot of folks actually participate in that, and I appreciate all the feedback. So one of the things that I said was that if you guys use the same products that I use, that I would give you guys a shout out in this video. And so for the most part, people actually got it right. I mean, we had a few people say 2,4-D and a few other people say the Triclopyr. Both products are actually active ingredients in this product here, which I'll be using today, which is the TZone. But only one person actually hit it on the button, and that was Christian from SoCal Lawn and Order. So Christian, I'm gonna give you a special shout out because, you know, great minds think alike. So I appreciate you guys all, especially you, Christian, for participating, but especially everybody really for participating and just giving me some feedback. A lot of that is also just for me so that I can actually know that I'm on the right track. You know, I don't profess to know it all, and I love to hear other people's suggestions and products, and so I'm actually very open-minded about some of the other products. In fact, TZone was one of those products that I learned about just because I got some advice from somebody else that actually commented on one of my videos. So I have no problem with that, and I appreciate all the feedback. So with that, we're going to go ahead and do this application here. The thing to keep in mind about TZone is that it is meant for broadleaves and for actually quite a few different weeds. It's not going to take care of crabgrass, like I said, so you are going to have to deal with that separately. And but for the things that I'm dealing with in this lawn, this is going to be perfect for me. The application rate for this is 1 to 1.5 ounces of product mixed in a gallon of water per 1,000. So I'm about 4,500 square feet on this lawn, but I'm also going to do my brother-in-law's lawn because he's got a much bigger issue than I do in the front. For some reason, when we killed off both the lawns in the fall for our lawn renovation, his weeds came back a lot stronger than mine. And I'm not exactly sure why, but we're going to have to deal with his. The front of my lawn isn't too bad, so I'm not going to do a real heavy application. I'll probably be walking really fast just to make sure we don't get too heavy. The back of mine is a little bit more than the front, and then obviously his front is probably the worst. So we'll be taking care of all three areas of our lawns just to make sure that we have some good weed control coverage. The other thing to keep in mind with this stuff is that it is an herbicide, so you do want to take some precautions. I'm using actually sunglasses to, you know, protect my eyes. It's not a windy day, so you don't want to apply this when it's actually really windy because you get a lot of blowback on you. I'm going to be using gloves, and then I'm also using my rubber boots, all of which are just as a precaution. I don't do a lot of herbicides, so it's not like I'm continuously applying things that are going to be going into my system. But you just don't want to be putting down a bunch of stuff and not taking any kind of precaution whatsoever because this stuff is toxic. It's meant to kill stuff, so it's probably harmful for you. So just a thought to keep in mind. But yeah, so we're just going to go through the whole process of mixing it. The way that I mix this product is I'll actually put in I'll put in some water in here first. I'm going to mix it up with all of the herbicide that I'm using. Like I said, I'm using about 1.5 ounces. This is a 4-gallon mixer, so that means I'm going to put in about 6 ounces of product into this tank. So I'll put in half water, I will put in the product, I'll make sure it gets agitated really well, and then I'll put in the rest of the water. The other thing that I do is I used to use a hose to try and fill this thing up, but it actually foams up really badly. So what I'm going to be using is a bucket of water to actually pour it in so that it doesn't foam up and I can actually get more product in here. And then once we get all that stuff done, then we'll just go around and make sure that we spray. Now, as we spray the lawn, we want to do a nice walking pace. I mean, we don't want to go too crazy. I mean, people like to calibrate their stuff, and I suggest if you have that desire, there's plenty of videos out there to talk to you about or to show you how to calibrate your walking pace versus how much goes down. I'm just not that sophisticated, to be honest with you, and so I'm just going to get this stuff down, and I know kind of how fast this stuff comes out and how fast I need to walk in order to get everything out. And then I'm also going to do that for my brother-in-law's lawn, like I said. So this will cover mine. I'll do about half, another mixture of about half of this to cover his, and then we just got to take it easy and get done, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about everything at the end. So let's just get to it. All right, folks, so that's pretty much it. We are all done. As you can tell, the temperature here in Franklin has changed quite a bit. We were a low of 36 about 4 days ago, and today we're supposed to be in 80s. So obviously it's getting warm, and we like it that way. So a couple things to keep in mind about this product is make sure that you stay within a couple different temperatures. I think it's somewhere between 55 and 85. Anything below 55, then the plants are really not moving. And by plants, I mean the weeds are not really like growing. So you want there to be a good uptake on this. And anything above 85, the same thing kind of tends to happen. It's not that the plants stop growing, but they tend to slow down a little bit. So that range is a good range to keep in mind when you put this stuff down. Also, make sure that you have some fertilizer in your lawn. You want things to be moving along, and you want to make sure that your turf grass is healthy and not going to be negatively affected by this product. Also, I want you guys to be really careful when you're going around your flower beds, and the reason why is because I don't know how this stuff is going to affect regular plants. I know that it's safe for your turf. I know that it's safe for at least the grasses that I have, which is Kentucky bluegrass and perennial ryegrass, but you have no idea how this is going to affect some of your plants. It may think it's a weed and it'll kill it off. So be sure that you are not going like super broad when you're spraying this, because you don't want to get this product on everything and have a risk of potentially killing off your plants that you want to keep. And finally, one of the things that I did mention was you don't want this to be on a windy day, but you also don't want this to be on a day that you're going to get rain within 24 hours if possible. It is rain fast after 3 hours, meaning after 3 hours, if it rains, you don't have to reapply it. But you want to make sure that you keep this thing dry for at least 24 hours. And I would stay away from mowing the lawn 24 hours to 48 hours before you apply it and 24 to 48 hours after you apply it, so that this can actually work through leaf absorption and also once it gets into the soil. Finally, I want to make sure that everybody understands that you need to take responsibility for your own lawn, meaning read the label. I read this label very carefully. I wanted to make sure that it was not going to affect any of my grass, and I wanted to make sure that I understood the rules around both water and rain fast and all that stuff. So make sure that you read the labels and that you apply this responsibly for your lawn. I am by no means going to take responsibility for your lawn, so make sure that you are reading the label and that you make sure that you take precautions for your lawn. Other than that, I think that we are in pretty good shape. If you guys stick around to the end of the video, I will wait about a week before I publish this, or maybe even 2 weeks, so that you can see the progress and how this product actually affects my lawn. And I'll put that at the very end. And finally, don't forget to clean everything. I need you guys to make sure that you are cleaning your container, make sure that you're cleaning your boots, make sure that you are throwing away all of your gloves, And for the boots, one of the things that I think about is that if I ever plan on using those boots anywhere else, then I need to make sure that I am washing this product off so that I don't accidentally track it everywhere. I don't know how long it lasts on the boots. I mean, if it gets re-wet, I don't know if it's going to be reactivated. So just be on the safe side. Make sure that you are washing that off, and make sure you wash off this so that you don't have anything in there, and run clean water through all the lines to make sure that that's cleaned off as well. Just a couple things to keep in mind as you are finishing up. If you like this video, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate all the subscribers so far. We finally hit 2,000 subscribers, so we're pretty excited about that. And if you want to be notified of future videos, don't forget to hit that bell, and we will see you on the next one. Have a great week, everybody.